going to introduce Kate Angus up here. Kate is a consultant with Alinea International, and she is the Monitoring and Evaluation and Learning Advisor for AWP. She's going to run us through the next session, and I've chewed 15 minutes of your time, Kate. My apologies.
Thank you. We're going to do some table work, and hopefully it's going to draw on a lot of what we've just been talking about and a lot of what we've heard already. So this session is still about locally led development. Oh, there we go. And what we want to do is give you an opportunity to talk about some scenarios where you might find some challenges around the ambition around being locally led in the programs that you're implementing. Just to start off, I thought I'd just explain that there are obviously as many ways as we can think of to define locally led development. Everyone has their own take on what that means for them or the people that they're working with. There are issues around decolonisation and how we engage in that process when we're embedded in a system like we are, with the governments that we are. AWP hasn't created its own definition of locally led development, but we're drawing on DFAT's current live definition of locally led development. And as I say, there are many. DFAT currently describes locally led development cooperation as, that's a little bit wordy, sustainable and effective development cooperation that supports locally led development by respecting and enabling the agency, leadership and decision-making of diverse local actors in framing design, delivery, resourcing and accountability in given local and operating contexts. So some of the keywords in there around enabling, diverse actors, etc. To support articulation of that, they have created a guidance note, which is also described as a live document. It's not a you must, it's a here's some guidance on how we think as a sector partners might want to implement things locally led. I have put on your tables now an extract of that guidance note. So you will find it in the papers somewhere that's just appeared on your tables, and you've got facilitators to help you with that. There are 3 scenarios that we've written up as well, where we're going to ask you to consider these dilemmas around locally led development. And what I've done is I've created the scenarios. So one is on technical advisors, one is on monitoring, evaluation, learning and accountability, and there's a third one on implementation and delivery. And what I've done in the green boxes is I've put in here what is the extract from DFAT's guidance that explains if you are wanting to implement at the minimal level that AW sees as essential, then there's a little descriptor of what that means. If you want to, be a little bit more progressive on the continuum of locally led development, if you want to call it that, then it tells you how to do that. And then if you want to be really advanced or transformational in being locally led and delivering in that way, then there's a third box about that. And what I'd like you to do is do 1, 2 or 3 scenarios in the time we've got left, whatever you want on your table. If you have some other dilemma or scenario you'd rather talk about that you've come across, you're more than welcome. Feel free to read through what that DFAT guidance is, question it. If you don't like it, talk about that, say why you don't like it or why it's helpful to you. And then we're going to gather your thoughts later on, but we won't have time to report back on them today. For the table facilitators, you have AWP people on your table, staff they haven't been briefed, so I'm going to brief them now. They're just going to help you basically try and keep on a fairly positive track rather than we can't do that because we'd just like you, if you can, to talk as positively as you can about how you want to try and be ambitious or what you've experienced, what examples, very specific if you can, of how you've tried to be proactive in this space. And there should be, MC, the big cards on the tables. Can we get those big cards on the tables, please, so that people can just jot down any main issues of interest that you want to share with us? That's it. Any questions before we start? Okay, I think you've got about half an hour. The regional coordinators are going to float around the room. You're excused from being table leads. So I'll leave it to you.